Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a bonus reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Cancer, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to you to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Cancer, I hope that you're doing well. I'm doing a reading today all about how you make a unique impact on the world. What is it about you that really sets you apart, but also contributes to the world around us, right? How you make an impact. I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today. The first one for the overall energy is going to be from the Healing Heart Oracle, and your tarot portion of your reading will be with the Light Seers Tarot. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angels, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for Cancer? How they make an impact on the world. Wow. So I'm also a Cancer, so hello to my Cancer sisters and brothers. We are the best. Don't tell the other signs. Okay. This is beautiful. Number 28, which reduces to a 10, the Wheel of Fortune in the Major Arcana. The Wheel of Fortune talks about good luck, good fortune, divine timing. The Wheel of Fortune card came out a couple times in readings that I did for you, and it just really rings true right now. The card is Daring Heart, learn to lead from wisdom. And isn't that just outstanding? It's just so beautiful. Daring Heart, learn to lead from wisdom. You know, I don't think Cancers get enough credit for just how strong of leaders they actually are. Whether you're leading your family, your soul tribe, your workplace scenario, your community, you are always leading from the heart space, right? And the words are Daring Heart. So it suggests to me that as of late, especially, it's not to say only lately, but as of late, maybe you are taking a lot more risks with your actions, with your words, because it says learn to lead from wisdom. I wanted to say because you know better. I mean, we are the intuitive sign. I do want to point out here that this heart around her chest, it does appear to have a lock inside of it, or it's just the way that it is shaded. It looks like there's like a place for a key. And I feel as though somehow the lock is opened, and what is spilling forth is all of this kind of flow, positive energy. Her hair up here reminds me, first of all, these are all my favorite colors. They're just jewel tones and they're really beautiful, and Spirit knows that about me, right? Like I try to wear clothing that represents some kind of jewel tones in it because it just fills me just with a sense of beauty and comfort and sultriness and depth. There's something to it. I hear the sirens. And I feel as though there's something to this color palette, this vibrancy that it's like, is Cancer finally stepping into their own, or are people finally recognizing it? Maybe Cancer's always been there, right? But didn't get the credit. You know, I saw this video, I think this morning or last night, so I just recently had a birthday, and happy birthday to Cancers who have had their birthday recently. By the time these readings come out, yeah, it'll still be Cancer season, I think. And it was some meme, it was some video that said, people will forget Cancer's birthdays, but Cancer will never forget yours. That's not entirely true, but in any way, a lot of people remembered my birthday. I was so grateful. but it kind of illustrates the attitude of, you know, you can always depend on Cancer to be there. Who is there for Cancer, right? And this is not a ho-hum, feel sorry for me moment. It's more of a, you know, Cancer has had to take the lead. I wanted to say where others would only follow. But you're always leading from the heart space. That's the thing that is most prominent here. What I was going to say about her hair was that it reminds me of peacock feathers. Peacock feathers. So really showing off your beauty, showing off your stuff, your intelligence as it speaks to the crown chakra here. And also this planetary body, whether it's the sun, the moon, whatever it is, it acts kind of like a halo. A halo. Suggesting to me that it's like your energy or your presence precedes you. Like your energy makes a statement before you even kind of come onto the scene. People want to be in your energy. Who wouldn't want to be in this energy? I mean, this just feels so inviting, invigorating, nourishing, and also revitalizing. It's cosmic, it's earthy, it's grounded, and it's freedom all at the same time. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's almost like Spirit is saying that it's like your contribution to the world by being your daring self, by showing your heart more and more and more, only leads to more good fortune. Now, some people would take argument to that. Sometimes when we show, this for everybody, right? Sometimes when we show our heart, we get hurt. I think that the wisdom piece is being able to be discerning, right? There's a difference between leading from your heart and showing that kind of authenticity and that generosity and that genuineness in front of a group of people, leading a group of people, as opposed to constantly giving one-on-one and not getting anything reciprocated, right? Spirit just said to lead for leadership's sake, which is interesting because that would suggest that maybe at this time you're not concerned with getting the credit, but you're also not willing to allow others to drive something into the ground when you know that you can step up and lead. I would, thank you, Spirit, caution against that just like ever so slightly. It's not to say that, you know, we need to have our name in lights, but if this is like a workplace scenario, you're not there for free. You are not there for free. You should always be compensated for the work that you do for other people. Always. It's not about like, let's be a martyr and be the leader and, you know, lead for leadership's sake. In that context, you should always be compensated for your time and your effort. I feel like that's a strong message, because I think Cancer sometimes have a problem knowing when to quit or for the day, you know. I know many Cancers at my job, and we're all the same. All of them are workaholics, all of them. Like, they know how to have fun, but they're all workaholics too. So, but, you know, We're taking risks, taking chances. The Fool card feels very strong here too. Really coming into your own, Cancer. So let's get 3 cards. What is your unique contribution to the world? So I'm gonna get 3 cards for the base spread. Wow, and 3 cards for, okay. 3 cards for clarifier. There's no past, present, future. This is just taking a temperature. Taking a temperature, where Cancer is and what they're contributing to the world right now. Okay, 6 cards on the table and 5 of them are in reverse. So it's not a bad or a good thing. It just indicates to me how I'm going to read the card. But when cards, there's like a million ways that Spirit can communicate a message. To me, when there's an abundance of cards in the reverse, it kind of signals to me that your energy is in flux right now. The cards are not sitting squarely in their power. They're in a process of flow and flux. So when we start with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, sometimes this card can talk about planting seeds, you know, and waiting patiently. Like we've planted all our seeds, we've cultivated things, waiting for things to grow, to be nourished by us. And then when they finally make their emergence, there might be a tendency to be a little underwhelmed. I hear emergency response vehicles. This could be really pressing, that there's something that you invested in that you are no longer investing in. Perhaps the daring heart that is occurring right now is you pulling away from something that doesn't serve you in order to privilege something else. Ace of Wands, a brand new beginning. Spirit is specifically showing me a relationship, like a romantic liaison or a romantic encounter that was just not doing it for you. It was just not coming to fruition in any way. And there's a sense in you, and just like, I am not putting any extra effort towards this anymore. I did my part. I tried. I did my part. Spirit is showing me something so much better, so much more exciting with the Ace of Wands. Aces always bring new from Spirit. So Spirit's just like giving Cancer just this beautiful open hands with this gift of creativity and ideas and passion. I specifically wanted to say passion. Passion for life, for people, for a person in particular, for an endeavor. And it won't be stopped. It feels like unstoppable, right? Unstoppable passion. What does this have to do with? Ace of Wands, please. Clarifying the Ace of Wands. Ooh, 8 of Swords in reverse. 8 of Swords in the upright, right? The Swords is all about the thinking mind. It's air energy, like all up in our heads, our thoughts burdening us, having anxiety about it, being all tangled up. Spirit just gave me the lyric Tangled Up in Blue, which is Bob Dylan's song. But I am specifically hearing the Indigo Girls version. So now we have 2 mentions of blue. We have Tangled Up in Blue and the Indigo Girls. So, well, indigo's like blue-purple, but there's something about the color blue. Now Spirit is showing me the book. If you're kind of into philosophy / critical theory / gender studies, whatever, there is a book by Maggie Nelson. You could have either of those names. That's called Bluets, and I highly recommend if you're into stuff like that. I don't recommend to everybody, but it's a beautiful book. It's a treatise on the color blue. It's part philosophy, part love letter. But tangled up in blue. I mean, I think that song, it's been a while, but I feel like that song kind of talks about just being tangled up in somebody else's energy, right? This is you being free, untangling yourself, and the card is in reverse, untangling yourself to be able to pursue something that really, you know what I want to say, expands your mind, expands your horizons, expands everything. Your eyes are closed, but the third eye is just roaring. Will not be quieted. You could have some really good ideas right now, Cancer. I implore you to pursue those ideas. Write them down, draw them on a piece of paper, express them in some outward way. The next card we have out is the Tower in reverse, number 16 of the Major Arcana. This is Aries and Scorpio energy. Normally when the Tower is in the upright, we're talking about great shock and awe and upheaval, where spirit is like that lightning bolt kind of blowing the crown chakra off of our heads, right? Like whatever kind of preset notions we had about life, it's like really surprising us or opening our eyes to something. So, but it does cause a lot of tumultuousness is the word. Tumultuousness. That's a very specific word that Spirit wanted me to use. Because I was like, chaos? I'm like, no, tumultuousness. But when the card is in reverse, it's like we averted disaster. We averted chaos. We, you know why? I feel as though if you had gone down this road with this person or this situation that was not worth your time and investment, Spirit would have had to come in and just say, hey, guess what? This is not good for you. And I think part of you knows that, because they're showing me a very specific situation in my life, which I will not talk about, but it's a very specific situation that would not have ended well. It didn't begin well, it would not have ended well. So thankfully, you know, the Ace of Wands came in for me too. And we can just veer off into another direction, right? All the while never losing an ounce of this beauty, an ounce of our beautiful heart, right? If we are honest with ourselves and honest with situations, it's kind of like the more we connect to our higher self and to spirit and to the universe, there can be an endless supply of love, because you're always going to receive it from spirit. But if you're constantly pouring from your cup and giving to people who are just constantly taking, it's almost like sometimes spirit can't, you're giving it out at a rate and spirit's trying to fill it up and it's kind of like going out again, right? It's like paying bills. Money comes in, money goes out. So spirit's kind of showing me like they would have come in eventually if you hadn't taken it upon yourself to make change. And I think that's what happened here. You took it upon yourself to just say, I'm gonna put my heart out there in a way that feels right. Clarified by the Five of Cups in reverse. Five of Cups can be a troublesome card. The fives are all about in-between energy. Sometimes we can be in a little bit of a limbo state. Five of Cups can sometimes talk about depression. melancholy, martyrdom, sadness, sense of grief or loss. You got this card in reverse. So the card showed up in the first place, which suggests to me that there has been grief, there has been loss, there has been some difficult times, right? And we know this to be true. There have been some difficult times that you have, okay, Spirit singing Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. I like Taylor Swift, but I'm not like a Swiftie in any way. Like, I listen to some of her music when it's on the radio. I feel like the lyrics are, the player's gonna play, and the hater's gonna hate. I'm just gonna shake it off, right? So I feel as though now you are very unbothered. Unbothered. Good for you. I mean, I think you were bothered before, though. I get that. Let me get a clarifier, please, for the Tower in reverse. Oh, you see? Like, okay, 3 cards came out. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I mean, at the time that I'm recording this, which may not be the time that you watch it, but at the time of recording this, Jupiter is in Cancer, right? Jupiter, planet of expansion. Hooray. And I'm, you know, what is the result of all of this over here? This kind of shaking it off, picking ourselves back up, averting disaster. 5 of Wands in the reverse, right? No longer fighting internally amongst ourselves and our personalities, right? Not stepping all over each other, not doubting ourselves, not talking badly about ourselves, not balking or procrastinating on movement, right? We're stepping right into our power. King of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is bliss, right? So now you have 2 10s here. The 28 to a 10 and this 10 here. That's 2 10s. You're going to have another one coming up, so that'll be 3 10s. 10, 10, 10 might be relevant for you. 30 might be relevant for you. The 10 of Cups is bliss, joy, happiness, a plethora of experiences that cause us to be in a state of gratitude. You know, gratitude for all the things, the people, the situations, gratitude even for the lessons, right? The more grateful we can be, it raises our vibration. I mean, that's not just like baloney. That's not just some BS. That's actually true. When, you know what I noticed? Sometimes I do this. Okay, so I went to the mall that's near my house, like for an hour, because I wanted some retail therapy. So I went into this store, and sometimes I do this little experiment because I have, what is it called? RBF, right? Resting face, like not friendly. So I have to make a conscious effort to smile and to be bright and to, you know, show off my beautiful heart in certain contexts when it is deserved. Okay. I'm an introvert and like I don't generally like talking to people, but I can absolutely do it and you would never know. So sometimes I like to do this experiment, also because I used to work retail. When I'll be standing in line and I'll kind of check out the cashier and see what their kind of vibe is like, and that I'll mirror that vibe. So if they're in a pissy mood, you're not getting anything extra from me, unless I'm feeling super generous, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But I also I want to see what their vibe is. And so I kind of had like a stank face when I was standing in line. And then as I approached, I saw her, the cashier, and her energy was fantastic. And it didn't have to be, considering the store I was in. Her energy was fantastic. and therefore my energy was fantastic. And it's just, you could see like the smile in her eyes, and it just warmed my heart. And so I wanted to reciprocate that, right? So this is kind of what this energy feels like. When you emit that energy out into the world, it finds you and it reciprocates it to you, right? So I wouldn't necessarily suggest the experiment that I played, because, you know, that's just me being facetious, I think, with people. But it's more about like, how is it that my energy can impact a situation? I sometimes like to see, like, do people even care about what my reaction is? It turns out they do, especially in service industries. You should always be nice to your waiter. You should always be nice to the cashier, because why wouldn't you be, right? But, and especially because I work in service industries, I work in hospitality, it's really, it can really change the outcome of a situation if you go into it with an open heart, which is not to say that that's easy, but it really works, and it's happening. Your gratefulness is literally sending out rainbows that are swirling around you, like it's like enveloping you like a beautiful hug. And what happens when that occurs? King of Pentacles coming in, leadership, boss energy, loyalty by your side, having earned your pentacles, having earned your stability, enjoying good health, being surrounded by community, by soul tribe. Look at the smile. Look at the smile on his face. That's you, Cancer. And we end here with the 10 of Wands in reverse, Death card in reverse. So it's kind of like saying, and yet, there's still work to be done. 10 of Wands in the upright talks about burden, talks about the level of experience that we've amassed that can sometimes feel really heavy, right? It's this wisdom component. Sometimes being the smartest one in a situation is burdensome. Cancer, I know you know what I'm talking about. How many times have you been in like a room with your friends and they're saying something crazy, and you're just looking at them with a lot of love, but just shaking your head, and they're like, what, Cancer? Like, why are you shaking your head? And it's just like, you know why I'm shaking my head. You know why. We've talked about this. I love you. You do you. We've talked about this. Right? Sometimes we've been there. We've seen it ourselves within other people. Sometimes it can be a burden, right? Having this wisdom. Also, it comes from past lives, Spirit just said. Right? Being incarnated in this lifetime as a Cancer. I don't know much about astrology or Vedic astrology, but there is a reader on YouTube. Her name is Jess Puckett. Jess Puckett, she's known as the Chaos Witch. She's the best. She's so great. Definitely get a personal reading from her if her personals open up. But she's like scholarly in like Vedic astrology and lots of mythology. She studied psychology and all that stuff. Anyway, I remember she once talked about the placement of Cancer in astrology and kind of how the job or task of someone who is born under this sign in this lifetime, it's like the place in the zodiac where transmutation occurs. So the Cancer actually looks at everybody else's crazy emotions and dealings, and when people come into contact with the Cancer, that energy gets transmuted and kind of spit back out at them as something that they can use. it makes sense, right? How many people have asked you for your advice, right? And how many times have you had to encourage a friend or a family member and they look to you specifically to do it? Probably an endless amount of times. Spirit wanted me to bring up that expression. If I had $1 for every time I blah, 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 I'd be a millionaire. I don't know if somebody uses that expression around you. Spirit wanted me to say it. If I had $1 for every time somebody asked me for advice, I'd be a millionaire. Somebody might say that in your family. It might be one of your parents. That feels like a channeled message. So 10 of Wands in reverse, though, it's kind of like, you know, we're really wanting to put these things down, but could be difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to let go of certain things that we use to help identify us and identify our ego. So like, there's a part of me that might enjoy being called the workplace mom, which I have been called several times. Part of me enjoys that. And then the other part of me is like, well, at the same time, you're a grown adult, you're not in my family, and I'm not your mom. So the way that I would want to yell at you when you mess up, I can't actually do because we're coworkers, right? So something like that. It's like there's some part of you, like maybe you're the person that's known for like always being there for people. That's a blessing and a curse sometimes, isn't it? Could be something, could be the thing that you're trying to let go of. Death card in reverse. Death card talks about endings bringing new beginnings, like phoenix rising from the ashes, like really putting something to rest that no longer serves us. When the card is in reverse, it's this acknowledgement that, yeah, you know, we still are learning. We still are kind of trying to understand, one, just how expansive our power is and our impact, right? This reading is all about your impact. It feels like a wide berth, a wide impact, and that might be surprising to you. But Spirit is actually showing me the movie It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. You know that movie? Well, if you know well, first of all, highly recommend. But that movie is kind of about the main character who takes his life for granted. So he is given a glimpse of what life would be like for everyone else in his world if he were not in it. And how they fall on hard times, how they become destitute or angry or lonely. He didn't realize his impact on the world. And Spirit is really reinforcing that for you to recognize just how much you make an impact. That's your reading, Cancer. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Cancer.